name's Anna Dean, and I had the wonderful opportunity to sell some artwork to Susan. And so I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the pieces that are in her house and what the ideas were that I was thinking about when I was making those pieces. So for a while now, I've been really interested in ideas about chaos and order, things I can control, things I cannot control. And I was reading a book about Cy Twombly. And I was reading about how when he was in basic training, he would lay in his bunk at night and he would make marks in the dark. And he spoke about how he was trying to remove the ideas about language from his hand. So he was trying to make marks that were removed from the idea of language making. And that was really fascinating to me, because if you've ever been to like a stationery store or an art supply store, they have like the little pads where you test markers or pens or whatever, and everybody always signs their name. That's like the first thing that you think of to make a mark. And so I'm really interested in the idea of subconscious mark making, and can we ever remove the ideas of language from our hands? And so I'm also interested in the idea of humans using our hands to make marks versus computer generated marks, and the intersection of those two things. And so it all started with a piece like this. So I closed my eyes and I made a scribble, and I was trying to not think about language, even though of course my name's Anna, it starts with A, so every time I make a scribble I automatically start with that big, kind of A sort of oval shape. No matter how hard I try, that's where it always begins. And so I took a pen and I made a mark of a scribble, and I scanned it in with a scanner, and then I traced it in Adobe Illustrator, and then I used a laser to cut it out. And so it's sort of this idea of like this very subconscious idea of mark making, and then a very organized computer that is bringing that kind of abstract mark into creation, into reality. So that was really interesting to me. And then I was making these for a long time. You can see this big giant one behind me, and I'm still making them. I don't 100% know how. They've been many different iterations and many different things, and I'll just keep making them until they don't like inform me anymore. That's just kind of how I work. I'm a little bit like obsessive when I get into something, and I just keep doing it over and over in many different forms. So anyway, that's where this started. And then I was like, well, how could I use my computer to take even a bigger role in this mark making process? So the computer's, like if a computer could make a scribble, what would that look like? And so I used a program in my computer where I made a scribble mark, but the computer took points along that scribble and created these, like, I'm calling them kind of squovels, because it's kind of like a squarish oval thing. And so that's what this is. So this is like a computer generated scribble. And I did the same thing when I cut it out with a laser. You can see the one behind me, it was cut out of a big piece of steel, and I'm letting it rust and playing with patinas. And again, like nature's hand versus the computer's hand, and decay, all those things are things I'm interested in. So all these pieces behind me are different kind of iterations of that theme. So yeah, I don't know where it's gonna go next, but that's what those pieces were about. And a lot of those also had marks that were made by dropping resin through a pendulum. And it's this really beautiful resin product that dries in like 5 minutes. And it turns this really lovely opaque white that's very plasticky, and I just really like the texture of it. But I'm also like fascinated in watching it go from clear liquid to solid form in such a short time. So that's how those, like the white one that's right here, that's how those marks were made. So anyway, that's a little bit about those 3 pieces. Big, huge thanks to Susan for purchasing the work. You're the best. Thank you so much. Thank you. And yeah, that's it. Thanks.